It just feels a little uncomfortable to be in my body right now.
Is in a stream, the ocean called for you and me.
Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I ended up filming a vlog or a weekly vlog that kind of turned into a, well, hello. So this week's video kind of turned into I guess like a how I cope with anxiety type of video. I felt really anxious this week and I opened up about it at the beginning of the week.
Normally I wouldn't vlog during times like right now because I'm feeling pretty anxious, if I'm honest with you. Like, I'm feeling some tightness in my chest. I feel like it's kind of hard for me to take a deep breath right now, and I'm like a little shaky. I'm just trying to get grounded in my body right now and not freak out or freak out if I need to freak out, but I feel like I truly genuinely don't need to freak out. Like, I'm fine, but I'm anxious. And sometimes I feel like when I get anxious or when I'm feeling a lot of energy, my throat is on fire right now, by the way. That's how I know I'm like breaking through my truth right now. Like, my throat chakra is screaming. I feel like sometimes when I get anxious or overwhelmed or my body feels a lot at once and I'm chasing this reel in my head, it's almost like a screen of just thoughts that I feel like I'm just scrolling through to try and figure out what it is that's making me feel this way. And my brain is trying so hard and it's landing on so many things and like thinking about so many things to be like, is this the problem? Is this the problem? Like, where's the problem? We can fix the problem if we find the problem. It makes me reach for things. It makes me reach for, okay, well, like, where's the moon right now? Like, could the moon explain why I'm feeling this way? Or like, what's going on cosmically or in the spiritual world right now? What's going on energetically with the world right now? Which, to be honest, yeah, to an extent, I actually truly believe that those things can have an effect on our bodies and can have an effect on perhaps even our perceptions, our minds. Like, there's so much we don't know. But I think sometimes stepping into the unknown or reaching for things outside of ourselves to explain things, I also think that a lot of pain and suffering and attachment comes from chasing those answers. And like days like today where I feel this anxious and it's truly for reasons that I can't explain. There's things outside of myself. There are things that are really kind of stressing me out, if I'm honest with you. I'm thinking about like vaccinations and such, and these are tricky subjects. I feel like I can't even talk about these things online because I know how polarized everybody is about it. And so I'm just trying to figure out how I feel about things right now. I'm also walking a line of, or playing this tug of war in my mind of, okay, should I take care of myself today and take a self-care day? I don't have any uploads today. Like, maybe I should come off work a little bit and really just nurture this feeling. And also feeling at the same time my brain be like, okay, but why are we trying to search so hard for these answers that aren't important for today? Let's just do what today needs. Let's just get into the present moment and realize that none of these things are happening right now. The fact that I can see the bags under my eyes, I found a couple gray hairs the other day, which there is nothing wrong with, but I'm telling you, it's just me stressing myself out. I don't sometimes rely so much on my logic to pull through. I can't help but feel things sometimes. I feel like I'm trying to disclaim shit before I even say shit, and that is just life. Like, life right now is this. I am overstimulated, clearly. I need to definitely take some time right now to breathe, go do some yoga, relax a little bit, and then I'm gonna jump back into work. Like, it doesn't also need to be the extreme of one or the other. So I'm gonna go do some yoga, Possibly some breath work, definitely some breath work. I feel like if I did some breath work right now, it would bring me back into a sense of like empowerment right here. I feel like I'm kind of just pouring from my throat and heart chakra right now. God, this is a lot. Anyway, I'm gonna go do some yoga and some breath work and then tap into work. It's like 10 a.m. right now, so ideally there is the judgment part of my brain that's saying like I would love to be already working right now, like get to work, like don't slack. But I'm gonna put that judgment aside and truly go stretch and chill the f out, because then if I work, I know I'll be in a much better headspace and get a lot more done efficiently. Another complicated line to walk, but you know, we're all trying here. So gonna go do that and I'll tap in with you later.
Once upon a time, there was a player in every corner doing tricks for a dime. All the streets were cold. He had his eyes on all the bright shining silver and gold. Oh, as time went by so slowly, if only he could show me silver and gold. Oh, he didn't need no reason more than the ocean.
Things definitely outside of my control that were just affecting me more than usual. Even right now, I'm like pulling my sweater away from my neck. The one saving grace that is really helping me with my anxiety right now is exercise. Basically anything that really pulls me down into my body, but this week in particular, because things were so busy, I kept on allocating about an hour a day just to do some sort of bodily movement.
Lo and behold, you had your eyes on all the bright shining silver and gold. Oh, as time went by so slowly, if only you could show me silver and gold. So pleasing, bright shining silver and gold.
Now, sometimes I just use my bike for a 5-minute warm-up if I'm just doing a little bit of weights or some yoga. The other workouts were just a full-on cardio workout, about 20 to 30 minutes.
It's just the same when all is fair. You just say a prayer, 'cause we are all in it for the so slowly, if only he could show me silver and gold. Oh, he didn't need no reason more than the oh so pleasing, bright shining silver. Oh, he didn't need no reason more than the oh so pleasing, bright shining silver and gold.
Boys don't cry under the influence. You and I did not make a sense. Tell me why.
And the reason why I find this really helps is because sometimes, well, most times when you think about feeling anxious, you're trying to bring the energy down, right? But I find that going on the bike, it's almost like if I can get my body to match the anxiety I'm feeling in my mind, or sometimes even in my chest, if I can like almost rise with it, meet it, and almost integrate myself with it, then after I'm done and get off the bike, I can bring it down with me. I know that that might not make any sense at all. It's hard to explain. It's just something that I've experienced with using the bike, or also doing things like yoga and weights. Anything that really pulls me into my body has been incredibly helpful.
Look ahead, somewhere down the line, words unsaid, will they undermine? Dry your eyes, everything's just fine. Boys don't cry, boys don't cry. Wearing thin, is it just for show? Where you been? I don't wanna know. You say hi when you're leaning low. Boys don't cry, boys don't cry. Boys don't cry, under the influence.
I've been challenging myself to cope with stress and anxiety in ways that I feel like can actually help, elevate my life experience, my human experience, rather than bring myself further down. And that is not to judge any past things I've ever maybe done that brought me down when I was feeling anxious. Sometimes I smoke a little bit of weed. That's legal here. Weed itself is not the bad thing, just like anything in life, Alcohol, not the villain. Social media, not the villain. It's all about our interaction with these things. So I've been challenging myself to interact with the feelings that I'm experiencing and then the choices I make based off that feeling in a different way. Just taking a moment to take a breath, to question the behaviors that I instantly feel like I want to go towards, like procrastination, reaching for that joint. Instead, I'm trying to replace those behaviors with something that's a bit more beneficial, or that I feel like can actually make me feel better in the long run. Anywho, that is how I've been coping this week, all in pursuit of trying to cope with my anxiety without judgment, to cope with the ways that I'm feeling, even if it isn't anxious, even if it is anger, frustration, worry, fear, anything else, without judgment. Because doing that, getting back on my own side, life is just so much easier that way. I've learned the hard way time and time again that berating myself and beating myself up for feeling the ways that I feel doesn't ever help me. It only ever makes me feel worse, and it only ever really keeps me in that cycle and loop. So yeah, I did a lot of exercise this week, which felt great. Ate a lot of great food too. This also just came in the mail today, which I feel like I'm gonna do some readings tonight. So this is a oracle deck. It's by Sahara Rose and it's called A Yogic Path. Box it came in is beautiful. And the art in these cards are amazing. If you guys like yoga, then you might love this oracle deck. So I just got the deck this morning. It came in the mail and I did a little blessing on the deck, and then I did my first reading. So I'm gonna sleep with this under my pillow for the next few nights while we get to know each other's energy. But there's so many cool cards here that I am really excited to learn about and get to know. This one keeps on popping out at me. So outside of exercise, I feel like I preach these things all the time, but journaling really helps. Just doing like a brain dump in my journal where I kind of like call it closing tabs, but I'll basically write down every single fear, every single thought, every single thing that's really pulling at my attention and making me feel heightened or overstimulated, or that I'm noticing or sensing, even if it sounds crazy. I told my therapist yesterday, because I also had therapy this week, that it's just something I can sense or sometimes even download in terms of like actual words or understandings or messages. Again, I know that that sounds crazy. Having oracle deck readings or journaling or meditating or really allowing myself the space to bring those messages in or bring the overstimulating sensory or senses that I'm feeling in, because that's the other thing that I feel like I can't ignore the way I feel sometimes. And so instead too of judging it or thinking I'm crazy or thinking that like something's wrong with me. Sometimes just making some space to pull a card, see what messages come up for me, journal, just meditate, just sit in silence and ask questions to the universe, and then notice what thoughts come up or notice what messages come up or other things that I find really help me too. So that's also how I like to cope. So I'm gonna shuffle the deck and just pick a quick card before we move on with the rest of our vlog today. Manipura, I love it. So that's the solar plexus chakra. Really not pleased to show this, but this is a week after not really getting a chance to clean. Got myself some pretty flowers, even though I'm not a mother, but pretending that, you know, on Mother's Day, treat yourself. And I'm going to do a gist as per usual. I was definitely in it with work, elbow deep with work. Things are picking up a lot with my business and work, so things have been pretty busy and hectic. So I'm gonna do a speedy clean. I guess I don't need these on anymore. I'm gonna do a speedy clean and organize. This is just gonna be like a quick gist day for me. Some gist days are pretty in depth where I go all out like the last few vlogs, and some of them are just really, really quick gist days like today because I still have a video to edit and get up today. So yeah, that's gonna be the main focus of my day while I attack that. And the other rooms aren't too bad. It's mostly just the kitchen that I feel like gets out of hand.
Found my heart again. You were standing there, you bravely let me in. I could wait a million years or more until you came knocking at my door. It's hard to be.
I came out here to do a grounding experience. It's really not that. It's gonna sound more woo-woo than it is. It's really just coming out and connecting either your hands or the soles of your feet towards the earth or in the grass or on the ground. Most modern day living is definitely very connected to screens and phones, and I have definitely been connected to a screen or phone for most of this week, and getting outside and just like breathing in some fresh air, putting my hands into the grass and just feeling Mother Earth, that helps me feel more grounded. It helps me feel more at peace. Envision all of the energy that I'm feeling truly seeping out of my, either the soles of my feet or the palms of my hands into the ground. Like take a few breaths, let my face hit the sun, and I feel better. I know that I'm creating a lot of this stress within myself. These are patterns and behaviors that I've built over a long period of time in my life. It's not like I'm actively choosing to be anxious. It's just that I won't try and stabilize how stimulated I feel, and then I end up doing things that don't benefit me in any kind of way. The interaction I have with food in those instances isn't good. Like, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel healthy. I feel like I'm just trying to truly ground myself by using my stomach, by eating enough that I bring myself back into my body. I'll get paranoid about certain things. I'll think that everybody hates me. I'll think that, you know, I'll take things sensitively. Even today when I went to go pick up my groceries, like the girl that was putting the grocery delivery into my car, her energy was off and I could feel it, and I instantly was like, oh, she doesn't like me. Like, there's something I've done that made this girl not like me. Like, no, maybe she's having a bad day at work. These are the types of thoughts that I try and like unfuse to or defuse from, because they're not helpful thoughts. They're not thoughts that help me project forward or help me live a peaceful life. They're just old patterns and behaviors that I'm really used to, or just a side effect of being somebody who can get overstimulated quite easily or is sensing everything all of the time, or like my receptors are constantly receiving information and I'm constantly trying to translate it and decipher what's important and what isn't. And I've just been on information overload, I feel like, all week. I just came out to ground them. I came out to put it into the earth and ask the earth to help me transform it so that I can carry on with the rest of my Sunday and go into the week feeling a bit more fresh, especially it being a new moon this week. Those are some of my tips for how I cope with a pretty anxious week. I hope that, you know, this either made you feel a little more normal if you ever have weeks like this, or maybe gave you some insight on things that you can do, or anything of the sort. Maybe it just entertained you, which that's totally fine too. And outside of that, I will talk to all of you guys in my next vlog. Bye guys.